with recording this and thank everybody for showing up to this May 1st. I don't know, is it a holiday for you guys? Is it this is not Labor Day, right? No, not yet. This is
Nope.
well,
No.
for where I am in this little small town, it is Labor Day. So but you know, who's counting?
Did Cinco de Mayo come early?
No, it's the Primero de Mayo. It's the first de Mayo. But yeah, so that's thanking everybody for showing up to this Legal Shield and Fieldnotes webinar that we do. And so for discussion today, I wanted to talk a little bit about, you know, now that I have George here, and we've got some new people. Hello, Susan. Let me see if we've got anybody else. Denis, I'm still going to consider you new, even though you're like a couple months new. But yes, so welcome, Susan, to the webinars. And then, so what I wanted to talk to about George is how he's not only using the CRM for multiple things, so that's a good thing, but now he's using it for this something to do with mortgage originators and a credit repair, but he's created a system in which he is now prospecting mortgage originators, and then from the people that they start to bring, he's also managing those people, because it's kind of like a two-step process, wouldn't you say, George?
Definitely.
So with having that, we were able to build not only for a process to reaching out to mortgage originators, building a flow to exactly that, which is just the outreach, and then putting some action plans, right? And having kind of like a procedure to do, and utilizing setting up reminders for follow-up and things like that, right? So you've made it a full circle kind of process, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, and like with anything else, it's a fluid process. We're still tweaking it and moving things around
Hey,
because
always got to be tweaking.
yeah, it's the
in the correct way, right?
yeah.
There's good tweaking and then there's bad tweaking. This is an example of some good tweaking. So, but I believe you at least just have to put the fear away of like building something like, oh, is this going to work or not going to work? There's two ways to find out. You put it together and then you launch it and you see how far it hits the sky, right? If it blows up midway, you know, you just as quickly as stop using that action plan. However, if what we're looking to do is to generate a response, sometimes when you create not, and I don't mean obviously disturbing, but in a way to disturb like a response, sometimes is good, right?
Disruption.
So, disruption, is that the word? Disturbing?
Yeah, pattern disruption.
And that's something I learned early on. Sometimes I'd send people in sales like just a period, just like a random character, and then it would like relive all of the stuff that I've been, and then all of a sudden they would come back to me and they would feel bad, and then they would kind of engage off of just like me sending them something, whatever it may be, because I've already said enough to tell you the truth, you know what I mean? So, and then I didn't want to hound the guy, and so it sparked a response. So I feel that this is kind of what you want to do, is spark a response, and then from there, hopefully you can, you know, lead that ball into the end zone, is what I would say. So when you kind of came up with, obviously things have changed, and so what were some things that you utilized with the CRM? Like what, I mean, I can kind of pick up off the head what we had to kind of create in order to replicate what you were trying to do, but what were some of the challenges? Obviously outlining the flow, but you already had like a base.
Yeah, first of all, you didn't tell me Jackie was going to be on the Zoom today, so hey,
Well,
Jackie.
I didn't know I was either. So surprised to
yeah, the nice part about the CRM is that you can truly make it your own.
Right.
So you're not locked in like one size fits all. That's the good news. That's the bad news, because you can get down into rabbit holes and get totally lost, confused, disoriented. And that's when you do the most important feature of Fieldnotes. You call Jeremy and he'll dig you out and get you back where you need to be. But truly, I mean, that is what has allowed me to try different things and restart as I was building, because you really don't lose anything. Can I share my screen?
If you'd like, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it'd be the easiest way to do it.
Let me give you co-host, right? So you can share your screen. You should be able to do that now.
Okay. So can you see it?
I think
So
it's coming up. There we go.
Okay. So when you open up, you're at your dashboard, and this is the way I used to manage, what I had to do on Monday and follow-ups, things like that. And then if you scroll down far enough, you'll see Tuesday, and it didn't really give me the bird's eye view. And when you click on, some of these, you wouldn't go back to where you wanted to be. I stumbled on this. Well, first of all, if you look at Nadia, it just has the name, C notes, financial resource follow-up, action plan. But watch what happens when you see the other view. This is the task. If I click on a 9, it kind of like opens it up a little bit, but it also tells me this is the action plan that this went out to. So if I had multiple action plans going out, and some of them are just one email or two, some are 5 or 6, but by the name of the action plan, I can tell which one is going. And what I simply do, it's very easy just to click on Nadia and go down here. And the only thing I do here when I get to this point is I click on timeline, because that tells me everything I've done with this client. I can scroll through my notes like we all can. I can see things, or I can just reschedule quickly right here and put her maybe further down the pipeline. I can make a quick note. I can see the action plan that she's been in. And I don't really lose the space. If I had rescheduled her, she would have already been put out in the calendar before I came back here. So I don't lose much. This is an action plan. I think this might be the first thing. Oh, the other thing I look at too, right here, I can see what's been opened. So it kind of gives me an idea. And then I can go in here. Now I can see what I've sent, what's been opened, what hasn't been opened. But what I have noticed is when I followed up with people, spoke to them, they told me they did receive the email, even though this little indicator right here is telling me that it wasn't opened. Doesn't have the double check.
There is the cases in which that can happen, which are isolated, in which sometimes the server just doesn't send the communication. And so that green check just stays as it's been sent. When we've looked into this before, I've always seen that it's been confirmed, sent out, just nothing has been yet received back. And so when you should get a double, that should be about 90%, I would say, right. But that's still an isolated case. But yes, you're right. That's a good thing. And now these are all fruits to you actually coming up. So what's unique is, how do you know what this person is? What kind of category system have you created? Where have you created it so that you know where this person is in your process? Like Doris.
So if I edit this, and you'll see a little bit more here, my referral source is the abbreviation of the Kelly Group.
Right. So that's one. Obviously have that
process. And this is what Jeremy and I have started working on, is we have a whole sequence that we created of moving these people through the pipeline.
So you're using TKG MO prospect, and that kind of is what you're categorizing the mortgage originator's outreach, right?
Right.
So you've created that
Most,
little code for yourself, and then you have prospect stage, then whether if it's a qualified hot, warm, or cold. So it gives you that breakdown.
so I even, as of today, I added something a little bit different because as I'm realizing I'm building more and more mortgage originators,
Mhm.
they're the ones that send me their clients that I actually work with. So it's like a two
Two-step.
level or two
Yeah.
tier. I also want to know who these lenders are that are sending me the referral, because most of the work I do, I get leads from the Kelly Group. They're the people that send me the leads, so it's not LinkedIn, it's not any of these other, it's all the Kelly Group,
Right.
95%. The rest of them might be LinkedIn. And then aside from this is the Legal Shield business. So I know it came from the Kelly Group. And that might be Sunmark Credit Union. But here I now have who the lender is. And I added this today. So it's another level for me to know who my two-tier referrals are. So the person, the company that actually referred me to Jeremy to help with rebuilding his credit is Sunmark, or it's Redlands Realty, or it's Fidelity. So now I know I can track how many leads I'm getting from any one lender, which when I started doing this, I wasn't tracking the lenders. And then as I'm building, because all those leads, like everybody in here is a referral from Fidelity, let's say.
Mhm.
They're the lenders. And I might have 30 different lenders in the Fidelity organization that sends me referrals to somebody who needs credit. Well, as I started building this with Sunmark and Fidelity, I was getting confused as to where these people were coming from. They didn't really originate from the Kelly Group anymore. So I had to have another level. And that's when I started building it out this morning, or putting the lenders in there. And you'll see I changed this right here, the lender. They used to say group, large group, small group. And I just edited it because for me, I want to identify my lenders. And it's working out, well, in a couple hours, I set it up this morning. It's working out much better for me because now I can really drill down. And as this gets built up and gets more people in there, because as Jeremy mentioned, I do a lot of prospecting to these lenders. The Kelly Group sends me a lead that goes in, but that single person might be part of a larger organization. Like Prime Lending is all over the country.
Do you remember
So,
what it was doing that job prior this setup?
it's chaotic. I mean, what was happening? I didn't have the lenders in their own group to start with, so I had a bunch of names, and I wasn't putting them in like Prime Lend. I have a Prime Lending group now that has a bunch of names. Fidelity has, I know it's 20 to 30 names alone tied to Fidelity. So it helps me when I'm talking to a new person from Fidelity. I can say, start a conversation with other business I'm getting from Fidelity, and it ties it together. It takes a lot of stuff that's floating out there. Yeah, it's in the database, but the idea is to make the database, as Jeremy has said so many times, work for us. you know,
Right.
to
And by you purposing the large groups category for this, because that's your focus, that's a perfect place to do it. I can mention another place where it can be done is in the referral source as well. You just follow with the TKG category dash, and then you create 4 new sectors, and
Yep.
then you just move the referral source so that you still know it comes from the TKG, and then that you now know it's from this lending source, right? That would be the other place to free up that category that you use. But if it works for you the way that it does, then I have no gripe, right? It just
Yep.
allows you to have that insight, which is worth its weight in gold. If you have nowhere to capture this information, to create a focus group out of it, to like, well, you built it in the stages, right? So that's the beauty of this. And that's what I was mentioning. Before you were doing this, it was hectic. So we all know sales is a numbers game, right? The more you can contact in a day, the more you're going to be able to then look forward to speaking to the days to come to kind of qualify and move that business into a paying, customer, or at least, an advocate of your services, which might do you just as good. But the whole point is to get them to go to that, to get to a place to where now you can either set up a drip campaign for them to kind of continually engage, or have a contact group here set up, like with the contacts, have something there in which that report always shows up. You can go to it. If you created an email and you want to email it to them, you could do so. You could all do it independently, or create a drip campaign and then just monitor the action that comes from that. But this is something that, I definitely can thank George for taking the time to explain a little bit. Now, I know it's been a lot to come together with, but on a scale of 1 to 10, when it comes to difficulty coming up with this, what would you kind of give it?
When I started, it was probably somewhere between 7 and 10 because I was looking at a lot of things that were in my head, and until you start putting it down on paper, you get some
tends to go,
clarity.
it tends to go down.
Yeah, and then you realize, well, if I do it this way, that takes 2 or 3 of those things off the table already.
Right.
And then you play with it for a little bit and you say, oh, this is so much easier. And just like Jeremy said, in the referral, if I did TKG and put dashes behind them, that might even make it even simpler.
It's just a thought, just to keep it kind of in
Yeah.
one spot, yet it still means the same. You free up another category that can be used for um for multiple different things.
Yeah.
So just a thought, but another thing that was great to what you've said is that you're using it not only to prospect, so you've got your digging, but then you've got material that you send out to them, so you educate them, but now you're doing it with an action plan, and you've got like I think it's thank you for meeting or having the conversation that day, and the other one is sorry we didn't connect. So now
Connect.
you've
Yep.
got something to then get them to get back in touch with you. The action plan sets up these all day reminders, so it's saving you a step in your whole
So,
steps to do.
and to Jeremy's point, this group right here on Monday, I already cleared out a whole bunch. But Nadia was the one that was put in, but everything else that you see, the action plan, financial resource, all of those were put in by the action plan automatically. I didn't schedule these. When I sent out this action plan last week, I had scheduled an appointment so many days, which happened to be Monday, and all of these were already dropped in for me today for something I did last week.
So
And
this
I already,
is
the other
donkey's
8 or
carrot.
yeah, the other 8 or 10 of things I scheduled, I already went in and did those this morning. And the other little thing to do is, let's see, if I go back to Natalie, and I can tell she's in Florida. So I'll call her in the morning. But if this was Colorado, California, that's my afternoon schedule. I won't call these people at 9 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes they get annoyed. 9 o'clock my time. Oh, by the way, I'm in New York. So those that, are all over the country on the Zoom. So I'm in New York. And if I call Jackie at 9 o'clock in the morning, my time, Jackie's not a happy person.
I'm always happy. What are you
Right.
talking
I
about?
know.
Just not ready to do business happy.
Maybe
Yeah.
not awake, but yes.
Let the
So
coffee.
the other one little quick thing I like about, and we talked about this before, of coming to the task as opposed to the dashboard. If I'm rescheduling and doing things, I can very quickly hit that and see what my schedule is for next week and where I can better place them. You see,
Spread them out.
yeah, I can spread them out better, and it's so much easier to work that way. I feel. I mean, I do a lot of prospecting, so that's
But
what
this
I
is
need to do.
this to me is a good example of a use, right? And then there can be, so like even with like Rick Allen's landing page and contact gatherer kind of thing, right? And it's like if you were to do you do a lot of person to person kind of business, George?
Yeah.
So it's like, but you've got an electronic business card kind of work
Yeah.
around, but it just compiling all those things to where everything's going into one, it just makes it that much easier for you to capture somebody, get them in your system. Do you have any kind of automated action plan for people that come in through your uh, e-card or e-business electronic business card?
They'll all come into the same spot. I haven't gone back into that and created different buckets for them.
Okay.
As of yet.
They thought like an introduction, hey, we nice met you, something that kind of gets, so it's not something that you have to deal with. Plus, now that you have the experience with, at the end of the action plan, put in an all-day reminder. You just basically put it in with a different description, follow up on recent new contact, and then now the game. Once you see this person, you know what to follow up on and all that kind of stuff. And so these are all good examples of working smarter and not harder. And then having multiple different deals, businesses that you guys run all in one little umbrella, and being able to increase sales at the end of the day, because as George mentioned, to do this was hectic before, and you have no little insight to the data because you're running around like a chicken with your head cut off. But with this, like George, when he goes to his Monday, he knows exactly who and what. It takes some seconds to review the account to kind of get up to speed, dialing the phone number while he's kind of going through some things, seeing if he can get the person on the phone. If not, he can use pre-canned responses if the person doesn't answer. Hey, this was me just calling, send it out, off to the next phone call, possibly able to get through those 9 to-dos on a Monday relatively quickly. And then now you can focus on your busy day of other things to deal with, right?
Yep.
And so
it gets better and better the more you use it. Because the other part of using it more is understanding stuff you don't need, because there's a lot of stuff in Fieldnotes that you may not need in the business that you're doing.
Yeah.
Like with groups, there's a lot of group information in there I don't use. So I try to repurpose those fields for something else.
Perfect.
And, and it works out fine.
Exactly. That's a good thing to know, is that you're basically, as long as you have a clear head on what you need and what you need to get done, I'm pretty sure the CRM is going to manage it, right?
Mhm.
And so, and this is a good example of it. And also how everybody does little different things, in which, just imagine if you put the Iron Man uh kind of CRM together with all the little bells and whistles, what kind of like agent you would be, right? You know, you would be able to do, I mean, you would probably be able to work as 3 or 4 people to your business, and nobody's going to know, yet you reap the benefits because you're not paying 3 or 4 people to do any of that stuff. It's just the one band man, you know what I mean? Kind of with the drums and the whole 9 yards. So, um, does this bring up any questions from anybody?
No, you just want a big headband though, because that drum can get heavy on your back.
Actually,
One little tweak that I'll mention, actually, Jeremy, you almost kind of mentioned it in where you're putting a little prefix when you're changing the names of one of your categories and putting all those new ones in. If you have some kind of a prefix on it, you can make subcategories of it. The other thing that I started doing, I went back and changed a bunch of mine because I was having to look through the whole list and, just to find which one was mine versus one that was already in the system. So I just started putting a tilde on the front of any ones that I created.
and then it forces them into just a chunk.
Exactly. And it can be anything. It's going to force it into a chunk. The nice thing about the tilde character, and for those of you, that's the crooked dash. It's usually right under your escape key at the top left corner of your keyboard. But that, from a computer's view, comes before any of the other letters, comes before the numbers. So whatever you've named that category,
Goes
like if
straight to the
you say, 0.01 or something, it's still those ones with the tilde are going to be at the top in
interesting.
a computer sort. Yeah.
Oh, good
Interesting.
point.
Yeah.
We've been using numbers and letters, and that kind of gives you
Mhm.
like the same subcategories, and then the 1.01 and that kind of sequence. But at the end of the day, creating your own code, whatever it may be, and then forcing the structure, to me, just makes it easy. It makes it easy when you're pulling reports, when it makes it easy when you're counting what you need to look at, because you need to start from finish it. So if you've built five categories, you need to look at all those 5 to see what's here, what needs to be moved to the next step. And then I'd also, like I said, it's the carrot for the donkey, so that you guys have something pushing you forward, right? And then when you start seeing your business grow, you're just like, all I got to do is repeat and, rinse and repeat, and just kind of keep, and then tweak all day, kind of how George is constantly tweaking. Just tweak the heck out of it, because the more you optimize and save yourself a step here, and gain something at the end, then you're just going to be able to take more people on, speak to more people, and do more business. That's the whole leveraging the technology and the reason for the CRM. And so, any more questions that might be as to, like, I just want to let people know, yes, there's work involved, but nothing like busting out a shovel. And a lot of this stuff can be done if you guys have any kind of what are those AI tools to create writing. You leverage that for your creation of action plans. Boom, that's a snap. you know um, then getting it into the system, that's relatively easy, I would say, when it comes to putting the stuff as templates and then building the action plans. I would say maybe within about an hour you could definitely pull an action plan, for prospecting, or kind of like what George did. I think George, we sat with it maybe about a couple of hours over 2 or 3 meetings, and we were able to kind of put that together and look at where he's been able to take it. on his own. So that's a little bit of how I like to do things, is definitely with you, brainstorm, build, because then that way you're going to remember everything, it's because you kind of built it, right? It's not me saying, hey, use it, and then nobody knows nothing, because there's a lot that I think people need to put to memory. And I'll just go ahead and show quickly, which is this whole contact sheet, so that you know exactly what you need to gather from somebody, so that you can do your action plans, your emails, your templates, so that you can do that kind of stuff. You really want to kind of have a good concept of what kind of system you have in whether, if you're prospecting, decision making, kind of for Legal Shield, or kind of for like George, where the mortgage originators. For me, I see the two businesses the same. So whether if it's for Legal Shield or for another thing, you just need to build these types of steps. And then if you have these steps, but for your own other separate business, as long as it's categorized, you'll be able to make sense of it all and have reports for everything. So that's going to back you up in that sense. And so, I don't know, just a good case of how to use the system for prospecting, right? So
The other thing that George is doing here that I think it's good for all of us just to catch as a thought is that he's really getting specific here. He's going after a very specific, very narrow. What about all the people who have 800 credit score? Well, okay, 3 of them in the entire country, but Larry Smith is one of them. But all of the other folks, they're 700s, they're 750s, in that category. What about them? He's not going after them. He's not targeting them. Can he help them with different parts of his business? Absolutely, he can. But in going after them, in targeting them, in messaging to them, he is being very, very specific. And when you are trying to attract people, you want to be very, very specific. You're not excluding people who don't fit the little circle in the middle of your target, but without that specificity, you're going to miss them all. So just kudos. Great job, George.
Yeah.
no, and for doing that, he's going to, with a system like this and going specifically at, he can touch more people and have hopefully better results, is what I would say, having built this instead of before, as he mentioned, which was, hectic, which that's kind of like the story of my life prior to knowing what Fieldnotes was as in a CRM, was just, where were you all my life? You know what I mean? That's kind of, because if to do the drip campaigns and to set up stuff when I find a new client or a new prospect, I mean, I would have loved for all those little automatic emails to go out immediately, and it's not literally me doing all that time staking play. It actually is, if I can find new people and get them into the system and know that it's working, then I can find more and more and more, and then I can go into only the 5 or 6 or 10 deals that one has to kind of deal with. So that's why I like George's example and how he's using it. And I definitely think other people can replicate this for themselves, for Legal Shield and for any other adventure that you guys are doing. It's just organization is key. And then, obviously, what can you do and what can you commit to? Because like George is doing a lot, but you can see he's staying busy. And so that's something I just wanted to highlight for everybody. And one thing I can tell you is I've got a new gentleman to help me with the videos. So I would say within about a couple of, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks tops, we're gonna have a lot more content up to the Vimeo and updated, and so you'll see a lot.
Right.
I don't know, I think there's like maybe close to 15 plus videos that'll be uploaded, and so hopefully you guys can get more resource and have all of these little sessions and review them, slowly, or at least have something in which you want to bring to me and talk to me about. Yeah.
I
Um,
don't know, Jeremy, where it was, but in one of my places that I was uploading some videos the other day, I think it was on Facebook. It was like 3 o'clock in the morning. So I thought, wow, that's neat. But it was actually asking permission to allow the system to create clips and shorts out of the video that I was uploading. And of course I said, yes. It's like, because that just creates that much more content for you. If I find that, I will let you know where it is, because that would be fabulous to have as a resource, to be able to say, oh, okay, so here's just a quick little thing that I can watch in a minute and a half. And it clues me into some little poignant piece that I'm looking for, because that's the big thing. I had posted a little thing the other day about spoon feeding your HR people with bits of information that they can turn around and publish to their employees, because just like us, they need these little time savers. And so if we're doing that for them, that's great. So I will let you know that yeah, okay. So Keith is saying that YouTube will do that for you, and then maybe that's where I was. So but at any rate,
No,
who
shorts
knows?
shorts are the new thing, and
Sure.
we've I guess it's up in discussion to start moving to YouTube, and to start, expanding that way, because we've got a huge library, and so who knows, but it is the discussion is going out there. But yeah, no, I would definitely get into shorts, just because content is known to be I guess taken in small bits, 30-40 seconds, and then it leads them to the 15-minute video, because obviously it's needed, but at least it's consuming content and putting people your way, which is good.
Yeah. And you ain't seen nothing until you've seen me in shorts. That's all there. I'm gonna just leave it right there.
Right. You haven't seen me in my Speedo onesie, buddy. Competition there.
Oh, my eyes, my eyes.
Watch for the calendar. It's coming soon.
Coming soon. Field notes in what was it, you guys? Virtual Elements of Virtual Selling. We're gonna steal this one. It's $15 a calendar, and I'm half of the calendar, and it's Rick is the other half.
Oh, we got to get Keith in there too.
Yeah.
So and George and we'll get Gary in there.
Sure, I can come off with 6 beautiful poses.
Yeah, you thought those fireman calendars were hot, baby. Wait till you see
Which way to the beach, ladies?
the nerd calendar.
Oh,
all right. Well, that's good. Everybody's in a happy
This is
state.
recorded too, isn't it? Oh my
Yeah,
God.
it
This is
yes.
for everybody. So they'll
Well,
actually
some
probably
dope box
want
to
one.
send your money.
Yes.
Right. So
Well,
that new person you hired, can he edit?
Oh yes,
good.
Tell me,
So
Jen.
getting us back,
Yes.
I just wanted to piggyback on something that George had said as he's going through, where he's like, we did this and then he went back through and redid it, or I think Rick might have been saying too, go through and check how you're using that. I use this. I've used it in my real estate business. I've used it in other businesses, and here where I do 3 things all the time to check myself. And so the words are like urgent, 3 to 5, and future. And if you use the same here, if you're looking at your system, you can say, what do I have to do that's urgent? So if you're going to try to work in your system and change things or update your labels or anything, what's my urgent need? What are the 3 to 5 tasks that I need to do right now that would change my business and make me money? And where do I want to be in the future? And future would be whatever you determine, 30 days from now, 6 months from now, whatever. And if you do those 3 things on an ongoing basis, you're going to keep this program updated, but you're also going to keep yourself mindful of your business and moving forward with it, and not getting overwhelmed. And oh my gosh, like someone had mentioned, this program does a lot of things. I use way less than what most of you are probably using, but my life is in here. I have everything I do. So when I need a caregiver, I can look in here and I have all my medical people. I have all my caregivers. I have all my real estate contacts. I have my Legal Shield business in here.
Yep.
If I need to do something with family, it's in here and I can quickly do it and it helps my mind. But it's maybe not one of those 3 to 5 tasks that I need to do today to make money. And so I'm always kind of thinking, well, what do I need to fix in the program that would help me do this? So again, it's urgent, 3 to 5 in future. If you just kind of think about those, hopefully that will help you keep it moving forward. So,
Well, I can say if you came to me and you gave me those things, I would definitely be able to help you a lot faster because you
mhm,
had some things definitely thought out. And
right.
if it's going to improve business, I'm all for it, right? And
Yep.
3 to 5 things is definitely, well, one can do way more, but
Yeah.
that's a
But
start.
it's not too big to be overwhelmed of like, gosh, I need 3 days to fix this. No, you can get it done quickly and move on to the next one. And when I'm bringing on for Fieldnotes new people that are looking at it, before I sit and help them, I have them do that because it has you think through kind of what are you wanting to do with this? What are you really trying to fix? Because if we're just creating ourselves another job, that's not helping any of us. This needs to lighten our load, not burden it more. So,
Yep. And I think
yeah.
a lot of people have come in and haven't done that
Right.
brainstorming, and then
Mhm.
they get overwhelmed. And then the
Yes.
only thing that they can point the finger at is the system. The system is not, like you said, here to build you more work.
Right.
So if you're finding that it is, then take a step back,
Mhm.
shake yourself and kind of look at it with a different mindset, because this should increase if it's sales, prospecting. So the other aspect is the communication side of things,
Mhm.
but it's the same topic. Categorize your people correctly, and you can communicate to all kinds of groups.
Mhm.
Set up all kinds of automated kinds of stuff. You could import people from specific lists. So if it's that they're coming
Mhm.
from, different lists like Google, if somebody uses Google Sheets or has another different lead source, it's the whole integration, which really then makes this a whole nother level. But think about the integration side of saving yourself steps of having to import people, then
Mhm.
automating the intro, the outro, everything in between with messages, and then using it for communication. So speaking to these groups, if it's HR, if it's as long as it's categorized and you have your, let's say, codes or categories set up correctly, then you're going to be able to start out with that, import the people relatively quickly because there's multiple different ways of doing it, whether AI Sparky, whether if it's yourself or so lot of tools, right? That
Mhm.
I don't know if people they see, oh, one thing, but for me it's just kind of like a bridges you got to get to the promised land.
Right.
But I definitely see that green pasture over there. Like I can see it and see all the bridges that I need to take. So for anybody with any type of, hesitation, just cold shower that
Yeah.
and
Well, and
tackle it.
it's also too, it can be really overwhelming. And I can look at George and I can look at what he's doing here and I'm like, that's amazing. I mean, he has taken it, had it work for him, and I'll like, oh man, I could never do that. I don't know. I don't even know where to start. I'll just wait till tomorrow. You don't want to go down that road. You want to just, look at it and say, gosh, that's what the system can do. Do I only need 100th of that ability? Yes. Let me start there today and
Mhm.
just go forward with it. And if you never go any farther past that, that's okay too, because it's going to help you at whatever level you're at. And I have so many people that are just like, gosh, I just can't do it. I don't know when I'll have time. And I'm like, take 15 minutes and just do something with it, and then take another 15 minutes and do something, and you'll be amazed at how quickly and how you can do that, and just don't be afraid of it. And that's what I'm hearing are people that are resistant to it because they want it to do everything quickly, and it doesn't have to. It can still work on day one very well.
But what you said definitely should help them overcome
Mhm.
that with the
Yeah.
urgent, the 3 to 5, and then
Yeah.
what was
Yeah.
the last one?
Future. Like,
Future.
where do you want it to be?
That should
Whatever
put
date.
anybody in the right place
Yeah.
to then begin to tackle it, and then as long as you're making forward steps, nobody here is, you know, well, myself personally, I don't judge anybody whether if they're beginning learning, if they don't know what a mouse is,
Right.
if you know, all that kind of stuff. For me, it's just it can be done. So
Well, and even like for me, I was going forward really well. And then I had a personal setback with my family issues that I haven't been engaged for the past 6 months. So now I kind of have to go, oh my gosh, I don't even know what's going on. I mean, I know that's not true, but that's kind of where my brain goes.
Mhm.
So you can do that too. You don't have, you can step in and out because your system is still there to support what you need. So I'm just encouraging you, don't be afraid of it. Just jump in and make it be a good assistant for you, because it's amazing. Yeah,
yes.
and it gets better. So
Yep. Well,
yeah.
if anybody doesn't have any questions, I'll definitely end it here.
Okay.
How is
Yes.
anybody? No hands up?
Oh, no, I'll lower mine.
No worries, no worries. But well, beautiful. I just posted where you can find the videos. So I think you can see here, January is the last one. So we've got what, almost 4 months of content, which I can tell you there's a lot of this kind of conversation stuff going on in there. And so shortly we'll see that up, and I will send everybody nice little reminder that we've got some new content up as well. So but yeah, thank you everybody for showing up. It was a pleasure.
Take care.
Thanks,
All right,
Jeremy.
everybody. Ciao, ciao. Bye-bye now.